Hi, I'm DKWILL, and this is DKWILL Talk About It. And in my most recent video I did yesterday, it says XRP can't be manipulated, says Garlinghouse. I dare to differ. And while I was covering that in that video, I took note of the fact that they referred to during a CNN interview, he directly confronted the idea of market interference. And I covered only one article in the prior video, but my spider senses would not shut up. And when I saw CNN, my spider senses heightened. And I did a little more digging deeper to check out this claim of what Ripple CEO declared about the manipulation of prices and the deviousness of the current system to try to keep people from benefiting from probably one of the biggest wealth opportunities there is out there. And so, in digging a little deeper, I was able to find this posted by John Squire on the 18th of this month, December 2025. And it's an interview with Brad Garlinghouse by CNN. Let's listen to it.
It's quite funny. One of the big questions that I was asked when I was talking to people about XRP, they said, what price do you sell XRP to the financial institutions that you're dealing with here? Do you give them a discount, and is there a lockup? Can you answer those questions? Because this kept coming up.
Yeah, sure. So, let's use MoneyGram as the example. When MoneyGram is moving money from US dollar to Mexican peso, they're buying at market. They're not, there's no special sweetheart deal there. There are times when we work with institutional investors who might say, hey, we want to buy $10 million of XRP, and we would have lockups that would prevent them from dumping. We don't want some other party buying a whole lot of XRP and dumping it on the market. And so we would hypothetically have restrictions about what they could sell and what, how often. And usually those are based upon volume in the market.
Yes, you might give them it slightly cheaper, but you say to them, hey, you're not allowed to sell it for 6 months, let's say, or a year.
Yeah, correct. That's basically correct.
Okay, you saw it. That's probably one of the ones that we're referring to. There are others, and that also props go out to digperspectives.com. I believe that's Kimes' channel, right? But we're going to talk about it because did you notice something that I noticed? Take a good look. Brad is considerably younger. Brad was younger on this interview as well. Guess what? Brad was also younger on this interview as well. And that's why you need me on that wall.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.
And one of the reasons that you need me on that wall, because despite this post here, and John Squire just reposted the interview, no reflection on him, but despite this post being from December 18th, and this article being from December 19th, this interview here that I referred to is 5 years old. It was done back in December of 2020, as was this one done back in probably December of 2019 or 2020. When I asked the question, when did CNN interview Brad Garlinghouse? The first interview took place in September 12th of 2019. He discussed XRP price manipulation allegations. That would be a reference to this one. The second interview occurred February 17th of 2020. There was an interview again covering on-demand liquidity and the broader crypto market. And the February 2020 interview was confirmed by Julia Chatterley. And so this article is giving off the impression of contemporary information by publishing current articles to make them seem contemporary while referencing statements and quotations made 5 and 6 years ago. But they said something that supports my assessment of manipulation. Listen to this portion right here.
Yes, you might give them it slightly cheaper, but you say to them, hey, you're not allowed to sell it for 6 months, let's say, or a year.
Yeah, correct. That's basically correct.
You won't be able to sell it for 6 months or a year. Basically, that's correct. So the question you might want to ask yourself, the question we might want to ask ourselves, When they had these interviews, you'll notice this says February 17th. And when they had these interviews, there was a wild year of gains as well. Do you believe those who Ripple was dealing with agreed to 5 years of inability to sell or 6 years of inability to sell? I don't. So the reason for my being unsettled, not only with the fact that they were saying Brad Garlinghouse made these comments, it's also they were unsettled because it is deception. And maybe ANNIKA MASRANI got paid a little bit by CNN or the money makers out there to put an article out like this to mislead the many. And that's why you need me on that wall. Because yeah, he said that. He said that 5 and 6 years ago. And those agreements are probably expired at this point. And they would need to be expired because those who made those deals are going to accumulate XRP for ETFs and things of that nature. So the supply and demand curve has changed pretty significantly. And so there is absolutely a concerted effort to mislead and play with the psychology of the retail markets to this degree that they will put out such misleading articles quoting 5 and 6 year old statements to try to apply them to the current day. No, XRP price can and is being manipulated. And if you really want to help people out, make sure you like, make sure you share this video with others because it's unquestionable. They've said it out loud.
Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded. Who's gonna do it? You? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
I'm DK Will, and this is DK Will Talk About It. And I talked about it. Have a wonderful day.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right.